In the fog of a live war, truth is always the first casualty. Right now, the Iran-Israel conflict has entered a phase that veterans of the intelligence
Status
world
report.
have
Now,
warned
hostiles are
about for
advancing. ETA 2
decades.
minutes. Scramble interceptors. Get me air
Phase where the
support. Copy. Launching.
battlefield is inside the information space itself. There is what we know with certainty. Since late February 2026, Iran has launched hundreds of ballistic missiles at Israeli territory. Iranian cluster munitions have struck residential neighborhoods in central Israel. Sirens have sounded over Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, and Haifa. The war is undeniably real. And then there are the claims Iran's Revolutionary Guard declared it had struck Benjamin Netanyahu's office with Khaibar ballistic missiles in a surprise attack. Israel's government called that claim fake news and stated the office was intact. Iranian state media circulated footage, some of which researchers flagged as AI generated or misattributed. This is not a side story. According to analysts who have spent careers studying intelligence operations, the information war running alongside the kinetic war may matter just as much as the missiles themselves. So, how does a viewer, a citizen, figure out what is actually happening? That is precisely the question Ray McGovern spent 27 years inside the CIA training himself to answer. Ray McGovern served as a CIA analyst from 1963 to 1990. For 6 years, he personally delivered the president's daily intelligence brief, the most sensitive intelligence summary produced by the United States government. After leaving the agency, McGovern became one of the most consistent and documented critics of intelligence misuse, co-founding Veteran Intelligence Professionals for Sanity, a group that has issued formal warnings to multiple U.S. presidents about the weaponization of intelligence for political ends. McGovern's framework is not partisan, it is analytical. His documented career is built on one foundational question: what does the verified record actually show, as opposed to what officials want you to believe? That framework is essential right now because the 2026 Iran war has produced an information environment where verified facts and strategic narratives are being actively blurred by all sides. The verified record begins on February 28, 2026, when the United States and Israel launched coordinated strikes on Iran, killing Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei and several senior Iranian officials. Iran's military launched its retaliatory campaign within hours. In the weeks that followed, Iran fired hundreds of missiles and drones at Israeli terrestrial territory, including significant strikes on the Tel Aviv metropolitan area. Confirmed direct impacts were recorded in residential areas in and around central Israel. In one documented salvo, Iranian cluster missiles reached central Israel and distributed submunitions over the greater Tel Aviv area, a weapon type that had rarely penetrated Israeli defenses in previous conflict. Now, alongside this very real military campaign, a parallel battle has been raging. The IRGC claimed its Khaibar missiles struck Netanyahu's office directly. Israel dismissed those claims as fake news, stating the office was intact, while independent verification was made nearly impossible by strict Israeli reporting restrictions on strike damage within the country. Researchers noted that in highly volatile geopolitical crises, unverified reports acquire disproportionate influence because the absence of official information creates a vacuum that speculative narratives quickly fill. This is textbook information warfare, and it is precisely the pattern McGovern has documented throughout his career. In his public writings and interviews, McGovern has argued consistently that official narratives in wartime almost always serve operational or political objectives. The question he would apply to every claim in this conflict is not who said it, but what does the documented evidence show and who benefits from this particular narrative being believed. Applied to the current conflict, that framework yields uncomfortable questions for all sides. Iran has clear strategic interest in projecting its missiles as having reached Israeli leadership. It signals deterrence and undermines Israeli domestic morale. Israel has equally clear interest in denying any successful strikes on command infrastructure, with stringent reporting restrictions and each side calling the other's claims fake news. Independent verification has become nearly impossible. McGovern has repeatedly argued in his documented public commentary that the American public and global citizens are poorly served by media ecosystems that amplify official claims without demanding the standard of evidence that professional intelligence analysis requires. The bunker story, the Netanyahu targeting story, the claimed precision strikes, all of them circulate rapidly, few are verified. And in a war environment, unverified narratives have real consequences. What does all of this mean for the broader picture? On the military side, by day 10 of the conflict, the rate of Iranian ballistic missile launches had declined sharply, with analysts attributing this to depletion of missile stockpiles and a possible strategy of rationing for a longer campaign. On the information side, this conflict has accelerated what analysts are calling an information warfare, arms race, where AI generated footage, strategic leaks, and unverifiable claims are being weaponized by all parties. Researchers documented AI manipulated video clips of senior officials being circulated as authentic war footage, picked up by established media outlets before being debunked. For ordinary people trying to follow this conflict, the lesson from McGovern's analytical tradition is blunt. In wartime, the most important question to ask about any dramatic claim is not whether it feels true. It is whether it is verified, who benefits from you believing it, and what the documented evidence actually shows. The stakes extend far beyond the region. A war between the United States, Israel, and Iran touches global energy markets, international shipping routes, and the architecture of international law itself. If you want analysis that goes beyond the headlines and asks the harder questions, the kind of scrutiny that a career intelligence professional applies to every claim, this channel is built for exactly that. Subscribe so you don't miss the next breakdown. Coming up, we examine the intelligence record on Iran's missile capabilities and what it reveals about the gap between official narratives and documented reality. Hit the bell, leave your question in the comments, and stay with us.